Dear foreigner, welcome to my city. See the bright lights, skyscrapers looking pretty. Perfect skyline, postcard from a city, and we still on the rise, more construction keeping busy. Always bear down on your blue in the windy. Can't forget the Bulls, red and black run the city. Chicago, fire in the sky, WN. Chicago. Dear foreigner, welcome to my city. See the bright lights, skyscrapers looking pretty. Perfect skyline, postcard from a city, and we still on the rise, more construction keeping busy. Always bear down on your blue in the windy. Can't forget the Bulls, red and black run the city. Chicago, fire in the sky, WNB. White Sox and the Cubs up in Wrigley. Got a couple rings like I played for the Blackhawks. Always on the ground when my feet hit the asphalt. Dedication, hard work, and preparation. Never giving up to reach the goals I've been chasing. When it goes down, I'ma be the main attraction. Better stand back when the cameras start to flashing. Countdown, buzzer beater, how the game go. Crowd goes wild, cause you know who they came for. Michael Jordan, D-Wade when I'm scoring. Great Walter Payton, John Tays when I'm enforcing. You already know I had to make an anthem. Shot-town in the building, and you know what I stand for. Chicago, it's the city of the win. Clock runs down, we gon' grab another win. Chicago, known for the skyscrapers, big city, big lights, and we all about a paper. Chicago, ain't another city like it right down Lake Shore. See newcomers all excited. Chicago, I'm in love with my city. I'm a purpose till I die. Seize up if you with me. Chicago.
King Kong ain't got shit on me!
There was technical difficulties because it's storming in Chicago. But I got it figured out. Without a doubt. You got your boy, so welcome in to the Steady Serv'n Sports ENT show with the gingerbread man. And yes, today, the basketball gods has spoken. What we talking about is that Final Four. What's going on with y'all, man? Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. This has been one of the best 2 years of Final Four basketball because guess what? I know a lot of people say, oh, it's boring because it's predictable. The number one seeds, they got to go to the Final Four. Well, that only happened in 1996, 95, 96. So this ain't no normal type of stuff that's happening. This has been a situation of 30 years in the making. In 30 years, you got a team, number one seeds that has returned back to back. And the basketball gods has spoken that that's it. That's the way it is. That's the way it's going to be and how it's going to turn out. This is what it will be. If you're new in the building, please hit the like button as you come in. Hit the like button and share and subscribe to the others. Well, I will say that I am not surprised. I'm not surprised on how this turned out because my picks, which everybody know when you follow me, my picks was all four of the teams. From the beginning, yes, the bracket had broken. You did have Virginia win where you didn't think that they were going to win. And then you had NC State go ahead and beat Tennessee, which we gave Tennessee some love in the beginning. We thought that Tennessee would probably, do a little bit better than the first round. But we going to get into Tennessee because Tennessee has only 5 players left on this roster. Coaches have been let go and brought back in Tennessee. Tennessee is a lot to talk about, the Lady Vols, because it's so much things that has happened in the NCAA field just by the teams itself, players going into the portal alone. We got Audie Crooks, Iowa. We expected her to go at least 2 or 3 wins in the bracket game. She one and done. Has she entered the portal yet? We don't know. There was some things going on, but we do know that Addie is in the portal. So the thing is that what we are seeing, because the portal is definitely moving and students are putting their bids in to go to teams and look at, looking for their next destination or who would want them to be picked out of the rough. I would say now is the time that we as fans of the NCAA be able to say, well, it was a good bracket game. And yes, it was kind of predictable that all of them will be here. And that maybe, just maybe, next year will become a little different of circumstances. Because right now, the most dominant situation that is happening right now is that Texas is firing on all cylinders. UCLA look like the group is together. UConn has not been stopped at all this year. And yes, the great Dawn Staley has repeatedly entered a Final Four in the talk of the conversation of being one of the greatest of all time. That's right, I said a female is one of the greatest of all time. Coming in, doing what they supposed to do. It says Addie Deal hitting. The portal shook the hell out of me as an Iowa fan, bro, Claude. Man, yeah. Well, Addie had to go where she need to go, and I think Addie will land pretty good. You guys got to understand that the Iowa fandom did not support as much this year as they've done prior and previous years, right? You can't say that because the audiences don't lie. Yes, post Caitlin Clark, but true Iowa fans have to see where the Clarkism had a part in it, and the fandom of what Caitlin Clark brought to Iowa actually took away from Iowa, because those people that was integrated in you as Iowa fans and people, you got to see that they wasn't loyal to Iowa. They were only idolizing and idol worshiping the one player. True, because why? The last 2 years has decreased in, of course, attendance. Decreased in, of course, TV viewership. So what I'm saying is not wrong. It's actually what had happened and what transpired when Caitlin Clark left and the crowd, the Clarkies, left with her and left Iowa on the table. You know, you can agree or disagree, but the thing is that Iowa is not the same Iowa that we've seen over the last 4 years to 5 years before now, going into the COVID season. Welcome, Mama June. Good morning. I see you, Brian Lewis. I see you, She Wins. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into the Final Four. As you guys know, you have UCLA, you have Texas, you have South Carolina, and of course, the great big monster that they call them, the Dragon, UConn. Will Gino be the one to repeat? Or will Dawn continue her finals onslaught and continuing to hit the finals in repetitious years? Or will now a new sheriff in town with the two new coaches, Ben Schaefer, come in and rule his team with the aggression that he has and with the team dominance that you saw beat down yesterday? You saw a mauling of Texas yesterday. It was like a brutal wrestling match that they threw Oaka in there, and Oaka was throwing everybody out of bounds, throwing everybody up underneath the basket, throwing down everybody on the court. They brought in a grueling team that has been clicking on all cylinders and monstrous to attack the basket, to attack every single person that comes to the basket and grab all of the rebounds that is possible to be grabbed. Texas itself is monstrous in the way that they've been clicking the whole year. They are on a mission. They locked in. And I don't think Ben Schaefer said it to actually be mean, but Ben Schaefer wanted his girls to be brutally honest with themselves and also brutal on the court, because that is his motto. His motto is to go out and kick some butt, you know, for the lack of words. And that they did. As Corey Close feels that her team is disrespected, underestimated, and disregarded, Corey Close feels that she has the top player in the NCAA. Corey Close feel like that there's none better than the 6'7", the 6'7" center on her team. She feel like the UCLA has not got the coverage, the reports, and the TV viewership that it was supposed to have this year. She said that they were overlooked, mistaken for soft, and the weakest team even in the Final Four. Corey Close says that her team is the best team in the NCAA. Well, it's all right, Corey, to feel that way about your team. But we will see what's going on, my man, AJ. What's happening, baby? What's up, AJ? Y'all go over to AJ. Y'all go over to my brother. That's my friend. He's a super fan of Angel Reese, His daughter is also, he has a great story. He's a good man. And he's one of the ones that takes care of and raises his seed. So y'all go over there and check my man out. I got love for him and I appreciate it. Good morning, ADP. Corey Close says that there is not one that she could think of that is greater than her center in the middle of her team. Well, I think that Gino Oriental, Emma said the same thing about Sarah Strong, and AZ Fudd is right there. I think that Don Staley says the same thing about Raven and Tanaya and Joyce. I think that every team, like Ben, has held up Rory Harmon. And then, of course, the book of the show. There has not been a player that we've seen like these players that I just named in this type of fashion and on this type of scene. This Final Four is probably one of the most juiciest Final Fours that you can see because the popcorn got to come out. And it's time to see and recognize who's going to be who's going to be dominant of who. So what I did was I broke down on my picture in my bureau every team that you see that I have broken down. I do have a top three. And you say, bro, Clark, you don't have that for Texas. No, I don't. Because Texas has what you call a most dominant effect, meaning that they got more of a team like Detroit Pistons, like formal team. But they do have those two, Rory and Booker. The rest of the team around them adds. So sometimes it's Lee, sometimes it's Crump, sometimes it's Carlton, sometimes it's Cunningham. And last game, of course, it was Oaka. So therefore, there's not really a third wheel that you can give Texas, because Texas, at any time, any one of those players that they have for Ben Schaefer can pop off on you and give you the business. Ben Schaefer says that he's in the best position that he's ever been as a coach. Meanwhile, Gino Oriental has activated a third wheel. And her name is Quinones. Quinones is a freshman who has gone crazy in the finals and shown herself and coming off an injury during the middle of the season. Her joining AZ Fudd and Sarah Strong has made a strong case. And the reason why the UCLA is very, very, very much so respected. And listen, they are not to be played with. Of course, the systematical scientist, Dawn Staley, has her triple threat. Raven Johnson, really, you could say she has four. Because Raven Johnson, Tessa Johnson, which I didn't put that there, but of course, Tanaya Latson and Joyce Edwards, arguably. It's four, arguably, that she has to depend on. But Dawn has a system that none of these ones has figured out yet on what to do. Only one of them up here on the stage, his name is Gino, broke the heart of Dawn Staley last year, and I don't think that she would let that happen this year. So I set the stage up for you guys to see what I think is going to happen. And I told you guys in my bracket, of course, I'm a little Lulu. Of course, I glaze with honey all on my chest. Of course, I love the Gamecocks. And I am a fan, a super fan of the Gamecock Nation from all standards. But what I am is a realist. Will Dawn Staley and the fandom in her team withstand a Gino Oriental for UConn? Can Dawn Staley outcoach Gino this time around? Because last year we had a meltdown in the finals when Gino was in perfect control and Paige Beckers was on her way out to go into the WNBA. But turn up the clock to now. You got AZ Fudd now entering the W, and once again, Gino has a #1 pick going back-to-back 2 times in a row, is projected to have the #1 girl picked in the women's basketball draft. So if that's going back-to-back, you would figure, well, he got the #1 pick, arguably going into the WNBA. Quite naturally, we look at UConn being the final say. But I don't think so. I think that the game that's going to be played on Friday will be a pure wheel show. And who has the belt, the more wheel? And who has the best wheel out of all of the teams that we're going to see, all 4, out of all 4 of these ones to be #1? So do I think the Gamecocks is the strongest? Well, I said that in my bracket. And there's reasons why, because it's different players in different situations. But Texas looked like the strongest team in this Final Four to me right now. And I told y'all I keep it real on this show. On this show, you won't hear me lie about, because I feel like I'm a fan of. Good morning, Brother Jonathan. Good morning, Sister Felicia. Texas looked like an unbeatable team. And does it make me shake as a Gamecock fan? Absolutely, because they beat Don twice this year. And the game that Don beat them was very close. The first game that they beat Don was very close also. But the tiebreaker was not close. And they wanted to show the Gamecocks that we are the most dominant team that you're going to face this year. And they left a presence and a scar on the Gamecocks' face. But I think that going into the Final Four, we will have a different type of look, because you got Texas going against UCLA. But once again, you got that UConn matchup that I talked about. And I want to go into what they think about and where it ranks. And we're going to go right into this. after these messages. Hey everybody, my name is Bro Claude, and I'm here to tell you about the best whipped organic shea butter on planet Earth. It just so happens to be my brand, Bread House Butters. It sheens, shine, heal, treats, moisturize, condition your skin. Not only is this the best shea butter for you, but it heals good, smells good, and feels good. It is the best moisturizer that you can use. It clears up any scars, scrapes, stretch marks, blemishes, rashes, bruises, eczema, psoriasis, and most intensified dryness of skins. You can put this on your face, your hair, and your body, and I'm telling you, this is the best product that you can use in America, because of course we make ours and crafted handcrafted in our own kitchen. So I'm asking for you guys to support the #1 product that you're gonna ever be able to put on your body, Bread House Butters brand. And guess what? You can go to breadhousebutters.com. I said breadhousebutters.com, and put your order in now. Thank you, and I appreciate everyone who supports. You guys, we looking at March Madness 2026, the ranking of the Final Four. Of course, we saw Dawn give her speech, but this was by Charlie Krim of ESPN. It says, for the second season in a row, South Carolina, Texas, UCLA, and UConn have reached the Final Four, and is no surprise. For the moment UConn cut down the net in Tampa a year ago, the Gamecocks, Longhorns, Bruins, and Huskies were deemed the Final Four best teams headed into this season, and they lived up to it. They have run up a combined record of 143 wins and 7 losses. Did y'all understand that UCLA, UConn, Texas, and the Gamecocks, South Carolina, won 143 games combined, and they only lost 7 games combined? That's a hell of a thing for the #1 seeds, and how dominant that they were getting ready for this year. This year to dominate everybody else. It says, the closest game any of them had in the NCAA tournament is UConn's 12-point win over Notre Dame in the Elite Eight. That's the same Huskies team that has won 54 times in a row. This marks the second time in women's NCAA tournament history that all 4 teams ran it back to the Final Four. This is also just the 5th time all 4 #1 seeds made it through the bracket. It has also happened in 1989, 2012, 2015, and 2018. A wild Friday's UConn South Carolina national semifinals, going to be this Friday, 7 p.m., is a rematch of the 2025 NCAA title game. The UCLA versus Texas semifinals is a rematch from earlier this season. The Longhorns beat the Bruins on November the 26th at the inaugural Players Era Championship in Las Vegas. Having familiar matchups or the same quartet in the semifinals doesn't mean we will have the same results. It also doesn't mean our rankings have stayed the same. Here's one of the last looks at how the remaining teams in the field stacked up headed into Phoenix. So, you guys, they still have UConn #1. They had the closest margin out of the Final Four. They have UConn Huskies as still the number one out of the 4 teams. What's up, Step? Hit the like button, guys, when you come in. Do I agree with the UConn Huskies being the number one team? Well, it's too hard to say that the UConn Huskies should or should not be the number one team based off of them not losing a game. What's up, Joseph? Hit the like button. UConn Huskies cannot possibly be ranked anything else but number one, because I know what you say. I know what you say. Bro, Claude, they ain't played nobody. Well, maybe so. It maybe not. But I do believe that repetition and practice makes perfect. So they've been practicing whooping on a lot of ass since last year. And they have not lost since last year. So being defeated, this team that Gino is coaching, they don't know what that is. They don't know what a loss feels like, and they don't know what a loss looks like outside of the ones and the increments that he had from last year can even understand 54 games ago. Or more. So it says Gino Auriemma was vocal about the setup at the regionals and how he believed was impacted offense. The Huskies went into the NCAA tournament as the second most accurate three-point shooting team in the country. Went to 10th of 37 from deep in Fort Worth, but all that talk distract from just how good the Huskies were on defense. They allowed 94 total points in 2 games and added 32 steals to their Division I leading total. So they got reasons why that UConn is the number one team. And this girl right here is a hidden factor, and she has been activated. Sarah Williams was expected to be that it girl. Sarah Williams that came off an injury this year. We thought that Sarah Williams was going to be a big part of why UConn would win. But we got something different this year. Sarah Williams has come off of a situation in an awkward situation where she was expected to come in right away and add to the offensive onslaught that Gino was putting together with all of the girls and going to get Heckle from USC and the different pieces that he already has, and Shade and, you know, those players that he's already had. But Quinones said, well, I think that this time is mine. As a freshman, Quinones has came in and made her presence known that she is one of the ones that was off the charts and not on the books of what a coach would go send a scout out to look for. Quinones not only can put the ball down on the floor, she's an irky, quirky, jerky type of big that can move her body and twerk around in the basket. That's not a stiff that's going straight to the basket like a robot. She can shoot the ball. She also can rebound the ball. Guess what, guys? She can also play defense. This was something that was activated that no one saw it coming. Quinones is definitely one of the three pieces that I put up there and posted for a reason, because UConn has its own reasons of why that they're number one. And she's one of the main pieces that has now been activated as the X factor. No, AZ Fudge should not be left to the side. No, of course, the great Sarah Strong should not be talked about as the only piece. But I have to say that adding Quinones to this trio makes them probably one of the most difficult teams to beat. And number two, ranked, UCLA has failed from number two. And they gave a strong case of why. And why I said that Texas is the strongest team in the Final Four. The reasons why I said that, well, I told you all of the reasons why. Because they got two that can lead the whole entire team. And also got pieces that's coming off the bench that makes them deep than anybody else on the team. Out of all of the teams, they probably, outside of maybe Dawn, go all the way up to 10. Texas has two dominants that leads the charge, and everybody else goes right with them. It might be Crump one night. It might be Lee another night. It might be Carlton another night. It might be Cunningham on another night. Maybe, like last night, was Oaka's time. You don't know. And then Sitberry comes in, comes out, and comes back in. So, I can name each and every last one of those girls for a reason. The reasons why is because each and every last one of those girls have made their presence known to all of us. So, no, I didn't know their names in the beginning. No, I wasn't looking to know their names. But by the way that they perform as a team and they gather themselves around the two, made me be able to know these girls by calling those games. The time has come to elevate Texas. All the number one seeds has been impressive, but the Longhorns have been thoroughly dominant. Michigan played both UConn and UCLA to within 3 points this season. Texas never let the Wolverines breathe on Monday. They kept their foot on their neck, Chet. It says, while the Longhorns made the first 9 shots of the game, Michigan missed 11 straight field goal attempts, and Texas' lead was 18-4. The game was already effectively over with. If y'all saw the game yesterday, y'all saw what Texas put on that team. It was a beatdown. I mean, the Super Sophomores was in shock. I was in shock. AC Chi-Town Calvin was in shock. AC Chi-Town Calvin called Michigan about 15 times. Nobody answered. Y'all know I have to give him a joke. AC Chi-Town was like, hold on, bro, Claude, hold on. Wait a minute, wait. Texas was like, oh, no, we ain't waiting on nobody. We ain't waiting. This ass whooping is yours. And it was a beat down by these two people right here. That is the main intricate part and the source of Texas winning it all. Play with them if you want to. But what I do disagree with still is that the UCLA Bruins is corked at number 3. It says it's no secret that Lauren Betts has been the key player in the UCLA's Final Four runs the past 2 years. What is astounding is how consistent she is in the most pressurized point of each season. Betts, 24 points per game and 8.5 rebounds through the first 4 games of the NCAA tournament, are 1.5 of rebound better than last spring. Her shooting percentage was 71.6 in 2025. It's 70.2 this time around. If the Bruins would win in Phoenix, what Betts did in the second half against Duke and Sunday might be the most standout thing that we gonna see with Lauren Betts. Lauren Betts got Kiki Rice. Lauren Betts has Gianna Neekins, but they have not been thorough. Check. Y'all know what I feel about end all be all single riding out teams. And a lot of y'all call this team Fugazi. A lot of y'all call this team not the real champion or the weakest link in the chain of 4. I agree, because South Carolina has proven to be far more stronger and non-dependent on one player. South Carolina has proven to be no need of a dominant single player, but the need of a whole entirety of a team. Where the other teams have that one standout, most dominant player, yes, Joyce Edwards is one of those ones. But so is Tania Laxson, one of those ones who took a step back from being the number one scorer last year in the whole entire NCAA, the country in total. She took a step back to say, no, I want to be a part of a team. Raven Johnson, who is Defensive Player of the Year, is showing you how a team supposed to be ran when they have a general on the floor to educate each and every player that she's around. 5 times Raven Johnson have been able to field this. You name one, not even AZ Fudd, of any of these players that has been there more than Raven Johnson. I would say you show me and I concede. But I don't think that you can find me anybody that has won like Raven. There's not one of these girls that I've just talked about has won like Raven Johnson. Not one. There has not been one of these girls that I have talked about have been able to consistently be there in and out for their team every single day. And yes, I know you're going to say AZ Fudd was there, but she was not the leader. Catch and shoot. Catch and shoot. Catch and shoot. Catch and shoot. I'm talking about the galvanizing offense like Raven Johnson. You go find them. I'm talking about Kiki Rice, maybe one of the closest ones. Rory Harmon. Yes, we give it up to Rory on her impact with Texas and running the team and bringing the team together and being the engine. But the most outstanding point guard of all four of these teams, I have to say, without any honey on my chest, because after I say it, I'm going to put the honey on my chest. But the actual facts of the matter is that Raven Johnson is the best point guard that's in the Final Four right now today. And if you think it's somebody else different on these teams, I beg to differ. Because you guys and some of you that come here on this channel and in the highways and byways of the basketball world, remember when she was waved off? Remember when, you know, CC told her, you self-deed? You guys can't get that stigma out of your head. And just because you're blind and you're just one horse pony showed people that has not opened up to see growth, just because you feel like that moment when CC waved her off solidify who Raven Johnson was, and you have not checked in and checked back in on what she created, CC has an effect. Yes, Caitlin Clark had an effect on Raven Johnson. Bro, Claude, why are you putting Caitlin Clark, who's been out of college, now a third season in the WNBA this year? Well, I would tell you. Caitlin Clark is significantly on the one that we see today, the Raven that we see this hour, the Raven that we see this moment. Caitlin Clark sparked that trigger because we had a young girl that was going to quit her career after that wave off from Caitlin Clark. We have a young girl that was going to say, I'm going to pack it all up. Thank you, Mama Dawn. And I'm done, because this girl that embarrassed me on national television. But what you guys could not take in your mind, what you guys could not recollect, what you guys did not understand, and what you guys did not see, and what you guys did not accept, that Raven Johnson was strong enough. Put myself on camera. Raven Johnson was strong enough to overcome what happened to her in that season when LSU won the championship. She not only went into the lab and went out to get the counseling that she needed from Dawn and sought out that summer, and came back the next year, saw Caitlin Clark in the finals after the wave off year, just months prior to her coming back in a total year. 12 months ago, she was waved off. But 12 months after she was waved off, she won a championship with Camila Cardoso. Did y'all forget that? Are y'all got Alzheimer's? Do you have lack of acknowledging that Raven Johnson played a classical situation? Raven Johnson has continuously won. Okay, bro, Claude, I understand that you got love for Raven. Now, I want you to understand that Raven Johnson is the winningest point guard out of all of these ones that you're going to see. She led the team and started on this team each and every year. You name me one. You name me one that has done what Raven done. And I guarantee you, you couldn't put Rory right there. Because Rory, this is her last year and she hasn't won. This is her, maybe be her first time in the finals. So don't stop it with that Rory stuff. Stop it. Stop it. You can say Kiki, once again, Kiki ain't been where Raven been in the last 4 years. This is her first time trying to get into the finals again. If she make it to the finals. And KK Arnold was not the leader. It was Caitlin Chin before her. Now it's KK who has the reins. So you can't say KK Arnold was the leader. Raven has led all 5 of her years. Raven has been the point guard of this team all 5 of her years. The starter, the one in front out of all of the experience. So does experience matter? Yes, it does. Why, bro, Claude? Well, because it really matters when you went to war and how the war field looks like. And what it looks like to me, when you got a general that has been there multiple times, that general can really get a team through. A good general. And I think that Raven Johnson is that. And nana boo-boo to each and every last one of you who thought that Raven Johnson wasn't going to get there. Nana boo-boo who said that Raven Johnson ain't impressive to you. Well, what the hell you want her to do now? You want her to get on stilts, flip plates, and roll balls? Do a juggling act for you? Because that's what you want. You're really not saying it, but that's what you are wanting. Because no, you're not giving it up to Raven. And no, you didn't say that Raven wasn't. No, but you also act like she's not that girl. Raven Johnson will be probably the top 5 pick in this year's draft. And I want her for the Chicago Sky. I said it. I stamped it. I want her to be there with her friend Angel Reese and her sister Camila Cardoso. And I think she'll be one of the greater leaders, especially at 22 years old. She's mature. She's 23. She's mature. She's able to do what she needs to get done. And she's going to be able to make sure that, you know, her transcending into the W, the defense always matters. I know you're wrong. I'm talking about Raven has won the most in history for a point guard. You go find me one who started all 5 years and has won as much as Raven. In her point guard career. Hell, they could go back to high school and she ain't lost. You could go back to this girl's high school career and understand what you gonna get. So I'm off for the glaze, y'all. I'm off for the glaze. I got off the soapbox, but I disagree with ESPN in saying that the Gamecocks is the weaker of all. I disagree with that. So let's get into it, chat. A lot of people say that these teams are there because no one else has money. A lot of people say that these teams are financially taken care of so that no other team can actually be able to be a comparison in what's going on. In USA Today, they wrote an article. It says, why are the same women's basketball teams in the Final Four? The answer is money. It's written by Mitchell Norton and give you a top report of what's going on. The laptop going slow again, y'all. Map out of some things. Y'all see it spinning. Okay. Okay, bro, Claude. What is the point of this? Well, a lot of people said, let's go back to 1996 when Pat Summitt was dominating at Tennessee. With Gino Armour owned just one national championship ring. When the Andy Landers had the Georgia Bulldogs playing at the contending level. And when Tara Vanderveer took the year off to focus on the Olympic team, but Stanford made it the Final Four anyway. The Final Four and the national championship for the women's NCAA tournament that year was held in Charlotte, North Carolina. The only time it's ever been played in basketball, crazy Tar Heel State with the Michelle Markin. What's up? What do you need my phone? That's Bree, y'all. The way the Lady Vols, they on spring break. The way the Lady Vols Cement won her fourth of what would be 8 national titles. It was also only the time in history of the tournaments that has the same 4 teams made back-to-back Final Fours. The Tennessee, UConn, Georgia, and Stanford all showing up in Queen City after having met the previous year in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The 42nd time in the history of the tournament, which the NCAA began holding it in 1982, the same 4 teams will be the Final Four: UConn, UCLA, Texas, and South Carolina. A year ago in Tampa, Florida, the Huskies defeated the Gamecocks for the RM's 12th national championship. The Huskies and the Gamecocks will face off in the first 2 national semifinal games, and the Bruins and the Longhorns will play in the second on April the 3rd in Phoenix at Mortgage Match Arena. Go on this article a little bit more. This is also the 5th time in women's March Madness history that the Final Four will feature all number 1 seeds. It last happened in 2018, a year in which Enrique Ogunwale powered Notre Dame to its 2nd national championship. March has been throughout this season about the rise of parity in women's college basketball. Texas coach Vic Schaefer, who is the first coach in to take 2 different programs to multiple Final Fours, previously leading Mississippi State to the national title game in back-to-back seasons, talked about the increased equivalency and skill amongst teams after his Longhorns hammered Michigan 77-41 in the Elite Eight on Monday. So did y'all know that Vic Schaefer had Mississippi State to the national title game in back-to-back seasons? It came over here to the Longhorns and did the same thing. So that shows that Vic Schaefer is a pretty good damn coach. It says that the parity in our game right now is the all-time high. I think support the fan base across the country. The crowds, the schools are drawing, but I think the parity is what really jumps out to me, Schaefer said. I think there are so many good players, so many good coaches. I think the universities are investing in their women's basketball program. This is the prime example of when you invest in something and you pour it into something and you do it the right way, you are going to get a good return. So basically in the article, I saw that when he was talking about it last night. Ben Schaefer also said that you have to take each class and build on each class. He said you have to get what you got to get, but you're going to have to build on it. You take that class and you build on that. He said because if you don't continue to build on each class that comes in and you lose sight and only invest in one of the classes that come in, you're going to lose sight of where you're going to end up, in the long haul. And he used Mississippi State as an example. He used them as an example and said that you not continuously wanting to build on top of, you just want to be one all be all team. And Mississippi State was not willing to continue to do what Vic Schaefer was actually wanting to do. So he took a move and he went to Texas and he built on top of classes. And, I think that that's a smart way to do it. So is it the disparity in where the money is going? Sure. A lot of people, y'all know the game. Yes, they are buying these players. But just because you're spending money on players, that don't mean you get there. Because just because you're spending on certain players, that don't mean that player gonna pan out in the investment that you've put into your player will get you there. But the players and the team in total, and you invest in a team situation and not saying that one player is winning in real life and forget about everybody else, you're going to end up with the results that you have. You have to invest in these teams. You have to continue to build on top of it, as Gino has done, as Don has continued to do. She got a freshman class that's phenomenal. She got 5-star freshmen too. McDowell is not a joke. Meekers is not a joke. Yeah, they can play. They can play. And then she got girls that's coming in already ready to take the reins and be, the star PG. Tessa and all of them. Joyce Edwards. So it takes layers. It takes layers to build upon these situations and these teams. What you say, Mama Junior? Say thank you, bro, Claude, because you are so right. Teams win games, just an individual player. That's right. You can't have an individual that is the one all be all. Hannah got as far as Hannah could be. Hannah has gotten you as far as you can go, Neil Ivy, with one person. And that was phenomenal that Hannah was able to lead the charge and make her team go to Elite Eight. I got nothing to say. But what I do have to say is you cannot win with a one-all be-all. And you cannot win with 7 going into this type of gauntlet. You have to have a master rotation and team and players on that team that is willing to sacrifice themselves and their ego and their pride to get you over. And I think that there are a couple teams that I can mention that, you know, the UConn and the Gamecocks in that type of situation, even though Texas do have those two, but Texas has dependable pieces that Vic Schaefer has built upon and made happen in his tandem coming over to Texas and building that squad to be very elite and very dominant. Has UCLA done that? Time will tell, because they lose 4 in this draft. They lose 4. Jacquez, Kiki Rice, Lauren Betts, and Gianna Neepkins. So we'll see what Corey Close has built coming into next year. Will it be a deflating thing to lose 4? As Vic Schaefer had lost 3, he made a statement saying, man, 3 of my starters, they gone. They went on, you know what I mean, to the W or different parts of life. They played to the end of their careers. So will this be a situation where money talks and BS walks from now on? Will we have this type of NCAA as the people and the youngins, as I started this off in the show off, hitting the portal like crazy? The portal has opened, and there are so many that has hit. And you guys, you thought last year was crazy and the kids hitting the portal. This year is going to be super crazy with the kids that are hitting the portal to get away from their prior teams. Let me get women's basketball. $20.26. Okay, guys. What's going on? Pharaoh, what's up, nephew? Says Mika will need to play great against UConn for the Gamecocks to revenge their loss. I disagree, Pharaoh. She has to play good. She don't have to play great, because I think that Tanaya Latson is going to play great against UConn. I think Tanaya Latson will have that that night It's going to be Taniyah Latson's night, that night, as a pride and a senior. You will see a Taniyah Latson go nuts. Not, I got Mika going to fall in what she fit in. But I think that Alcott and Taniyah Latson are going to be key in the win against UConn. And I think that Kiki Rice and Gianna Neekins are going to be key, and Jonquez are going to be key in UCLA beating Texas. Because I don't see no other way or X factor that can go across and beat Texas that UCLA has. I don't think that Texas has a flaw in strength and ability. That Texas team, y'all could take it or leave it alone. That Texas team is super powerful, and they not to be played with. So will UCLA survive the onslaught and the mission that Vic Schaefer said that the girls are on? We will see. Will UConn in South Carolina line up with the stars of who will come out of that battle as the winner of it all? We will see who will be the victor. More after these messages. Let me tell you about the simplest way to get you in some WNBA and NBA action. Find your player, pick higher or lower, and win some extra cash. Pick between 2 to 5 players to fill out your pick'em entry. Get every pick right and win some much needed cash. Use promo code SteadyServ and receive $1,000 bonus in cash. Now that it's football season, follow Steadyservin ENT as I share my picks. Pick players, choose the amount, win money, make picks, win cash. Thanks, Underdog Fantasy, for your partnership with us, and thank you for using the promo code SteadyServin on Underdog Fantasy. So you guys, I appreciate everybody that came through here, because each and every last one of you guys are important. If you would like to give a donation to the channel, please do so. It's greatly appreciated. Whatever you're doing in your presence is very, very good for me. I really, really appreciate everybody that came to hear what I had to say and how I broke down what I think is going to be the winner. So who you say, Bro Claw, going to win everything? I just told y'all. I think that Raven Johnson is the better general than any one of the girls that is running their basketball team in this Final Four. And I think that the guard play is going to be the decision on what guard can navigate through it all. And I think that Raven Johnson, 5 times, is me putting my money on that ticket and punching that stamp that Raven Johnson is the best point guard in the general to get a team through. But I could be wrong. You tell me. Please, please let me know what you think in the comments. And also, y'all, please turn on your notifications every time that I drop a hot banger, that you can also get a notification that I am on. And also, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, because this channel is where you want to be. I'm the coldest man when it comes to this right here, the hottest boy, the talented, you know what I'm saying, the all-star of this YouTube streets, coming up, you know, and grinding my way from the bottom. Hey, started from the bottom, now we still going on, and we here. And I will say this, y'all. Please, if you have a business, because this channel supports entrepreneurs, please put your business inside of the chat. Let the people know what you're doing. Let them see what you got going on. Because for me, what I got going on, I want you to go to my website. Not only subscribe to my website, but I want you, those who are entrepreneurs, go to my website, hit the promotional services, and when you hit the promotional services, you're going to see it pop right on up. It says, are you looking to boost your brand and reach a wider audience? Our sports podcast and social media channels offer the perfect platform to promote your business. With our engaged listening base, we can help you connect with the potential customers and grow your brand. Let's work together to elevate your marketing strategy. This is what I do for you. You go ahead and you hit me up. Let me know what I can do for you. Help me, help you. And I appreciate it so much. If you are new to the channel, please join the channel. Be a bread maker. Because over here, bread makers get it done. And we have the most fun. I'm saying bars. I said, if you over here, bread makers get it done, because we have the most fun. And you want to have fun? The bread makers gets it done. Bars! Yeah, man. And if you join the channel, I'm a bread maker. I'm a bread maker. I'm a bread maker. I'm a bread maker. I'm a bread maker.
We got that rap van rolling on them dubs. You can catch us later while we ballin' in the club. We them bread makers, we them bread makers, we them bread makers, we them bread makers. Shots me in the club, spinning them ends, smelling like ginger man oil in my bins. Drop top down and I'm rolling two friends. Bread making everywhere.
Yeah, be a bread maker. Come on with it. You know what I'm saying? You get your gingerbread shirt, your gingerbread girl shirt, your steady serving shirt, because we make our t-shirts here. Yeah, the entrepreneur side of me, make sure that you get it done. I'm just saying, we winning, y'all. And I appreciate y'all. Y'all letting everybody know. And I thank everybody who's sharing this channel. Y'all getting the work done. And I see it always in the subscribers that's coming. Keep on pushing. Keep on sharing the channel. I am greatly, greatly appreciative. I thank you for what you've done. I thank you for what you do. And I thank you for what you will do. I appreciate you so much. And I don't take your support for granted. I really appreciate you. That's why I say your name when you come into my chat. You are acknowledged here and you are supported here. And you can say what you need to be, you know what I mean, what's need to be said. So everybody that came in, please hit the like button. Please, please show love, give love. And it's always going to be love. I love you so much. Shout out to my mama Jew. Love y'all. ADP. She wins. You a hater. My niece gonna get me, y'all. And then once again, I leave as I came with another banger. Bread making all the time. Team winning.
Yeah, them my own.
We are.
You say, but them my own.